you play the game with the people that writing the rules. Ain't the fame that I'm after when paying the...
So you are looking at a rare site here in Orange County, California. Yes, that is a home that is actively under construction.
I thought you were going to say unicorn den.
It's not a unicorn den, but it's an actively under construction home. So what we're going to do in this video is we are going to show you one of the only areas in all of Orange County where you can get new construction. This is one of the few places that is actively being built. So we're going to show you Rancho Mission Viejo in California, and we're going to show you all of the great things about it, and we're going to be real about the cons. So you're going to want to watch the whole video, because if you don't know what the cons are, you know, you could be moving to the wrong place. We want to be real with you. We're going to show you everything that's great, and then we're going to, you know, point out what are some of the drawbacks. So let's get started. So before we get started, first, let's just give a little overview of what Rancho Mission Viejo actually is, where it is, and how it's broken up into different villages and communities. And we do this as we overlook the baseball fields of the Sendero Village in Rancho Mission Viejo, California. So now look at that behind me. What a beautiful shot of all the baseball fields and then just the valley beyond us. So we are in the Sendero Village in Rancho Mission Viejo. So do you want to explain a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so Rancho Mission Viejo, at least at the time of this recording, has three primary villages. We have Sendero, we have Rienda, and also we have Sendero. So these are the three main villages. Sendero is kind of the middle. So it's about Rienda is actually the newest village. It's actually being constructed as we speak. There's so there's some relatively new construction and brand new construction there. And then there are going to be more phases, more villages in the future for Rancho Mission Viejo, but currently Rienda is the newest. Sendero is the second newest or second oldest. Basically, it's about 2016, 2017, give or take, as far as year built. And then also Sendero, which is the granddaddy of this all. And that's about 2013-ish year build.
Yeah, and then do you want to give like a little overview of where exactly are we located geographically? Because obviously there's some much more famous communities around us, like Costa de Casa, Ladera Ranch, and then obviously Mission Viejo, and then
San Juan Capistrano.
San Juan Capistrano. So we are actually quite south,
Yes.
And there's even future villages that are planned that are even farther south than San Clemente.
Yes, and I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, I thought that was all military land.
Yeah, but apparently, Orange County does extend just a little bit farther. Again, it's not, so San Clemente is the farthest south coastal community.
Yeah.
But part of Orange County extends a little bit beyond it, and that part is Rancho Mission Viejo. And I guess there are plans for future villages out that way. So if you're not quite ready to buy now and you want to wait 10 years, maybe that would be developed then. Who knows what's going to happen. But as far as we speak right now, the new construction that's happening is Rienda. And that's where we have a tour of there, along with these other villages in Rancho Mission Viejo.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to me that it can get that far south, because I used to work in San Clemente, and one of the interesting things about where I worked is that you could hear, you know, the workers at Camp Pendleton, or the soldiers, I should say, you could hear them doing, exploding bombs and all of that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to me that there actually is land that's available to be developed. That's very interesting to me.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of homeowners insurance you have for like actual test bombs and stuff like that. But again, that's for the future. That's for the future for them to work out.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? I'm Sean Dezad.
And I'm Courtney Dezad, and we are licensed real estate agents here in the state of California.
And if you're watching this channel, you might be thinking, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the glitz. I love the glamour. I love the beautiful blue skies. I can't wait to move out there now. But the problem is that I'm not here. I don't know anything about Orange County. I don't know like what to do first. I might be out of state. I may be even out of the country. So what should I do? And I totally get that. That's why you want to reach out to us so we can have that call to find out specifically what your needs are and find that perfect home for you. We can be your boots on the ground, really like find that perfect home for you. And that way you can come out, confirm that you love the house, and then we can get you in that beautiful home.
So since we were talking about how the Rienda Village is the village in Rancho Mission Viejo, California that is currently under construction, let's start there. So here we are. We are in the Rienda Village in Rancho Mission Viejo, and we just want to show you just how much active new construction is going on here, at least at the time of this recording. And then one of the things that you will notice is that with new construction, and this is literally anywhere you go in the country, with new construction, you tend to have much smaller lots and a a lot of times the living is very vertical, you know, even 3 stories. So that's just something, you know, in exchange for getting a newer home, you're going to have a much smaller lot. I don't know if you want to speak to that.
No, actually, I think you put it perfectly. Yeah, you just have it like land is at a premium.
Yeah.
You don't get big yards in general. Again, there's some developments within here. That's why you want to reach out to us if that's what you're looking for, so we can find that home that gives you that more sprawling space. But in general, newer developments, you're going vertical. You're even if it's a house, you're really close to your neighbor. Like, you're separated by just a few feet. So it's just one of those things that you want to be aware of.
Yeah, and one of the things that I really do like about all of Rancho Mission Viejo, I think that they've done a really good job of, though obviously, you know, it's a huge master plan community, but I think the homes they're cute in that they don't all look exactly the same, right?
Yeah, they've done a good job.
Yeah,
it's not a different shade of beige.
Yeah, they've done a really good job. They've got cute colors. Like, this is something I really like. I mean, that's one of the big things that people don't like about maybe some of the older neighborhoods of Irvine, is that everything is like a different shade of beige. I think
And everything is the same floor plan.
Yeah. They've done a really good job here of, you know, making the homes look different. Yeah.
Here's one of many signs at Rienda, like, to kind of showing you where you are, what development you want to go to, because there's a ton. Even though, okay, the Rienda is a village within Rancho Mission Viejo, but then within Rienda, you actually have a bunch of different developments. So this is, again, as Courtney is demonstrating, these are some of the developments here.
And now let's head towards the major amenities that are offered at the Rienda Village in Rancho Mission Viejo, California. And these amenities are mostly centered in what is called Ranch Camp. Let's take a look. Yes, it's Ranch Camp, not the camp. Courtney misspoke.
So one of the great things about this community in Rancho Mission Viejo is all the beautiful trails and the hills, the golden California hills around us. I am a runner, and just because I've run, you know, through all of California for so many years in my life, this is definitely one of the things that I love most about California, is this outdoor lifestyle. So yeah, that's just one great thing about Rancho Mission Viejo. They have trails that are available, and I know they're working, because obviously this is currently under construction. They're working on connecting more and more, you know, as this is being built. And if you want to turn around, so we are currently in what is called the camp, which is one of the many amenities that are available here in Rancho Mission Viejo. So I know, you know, I don't know what part of the video you're going to be watching, but in one part of the video we're talking about how, you know, a lot of people hate HOAs, but there are good things about HOAs, and amenities like this is one of them. So here at the camp, you've got 2 pools, you've got a fitness center, you got a place for horses. You know, there's just so much stuff that's available. That's part of what's good about being in an HOA.
Now, obviously, you know, there are tons of pros here, but there are some cons. One of the cons we're going to get into is the fact that you do have an elevated risk of fire danger. So, again, if you like, you can reach out to us. We can give you a fire map of what the fire authority shows us elevated risk within Orange County. But you see all that behind us, that's fuel. That's fuel for a fire that could happen. Firefighters are amazing here. They've done an amazing job of protecting life and property. But however, you know, obviously they don't bat 1,000. No one does. So the thing is that you do have elevated risk. Again, I'm sure that they do a very good job of keeping that at a minimum amount of risk. Orange County is very well managed from that perspective. But at the same time, we would be lying to you to tell you that there's no risk at all.
And as Courtney gathers B-roll for this video, what exactly is Sean doing to bide his time at Ranch Camp? He is, of course, responding to work-related text messages and emails. Because if you know anything about Sean, it's that he's never not on his phone. Unless he's on appointments, of course. So if you are thinking about moving to Rancho Mission Viejo or anywhere else in Orange County, try texting, calling, or emailing Sean right now.
I literally see this sign everywhere, and I always wonder, like, do they really have to say this? So I know we said we were going to tell you some of the drawbacks of this community as well, because that's really what we like to do on this channel. We really like to be honest with the pros and the cons. Definitely, I would say one of the biggest drawbacks of Rancho Mission Viejo is how far off you are from the freeway. Because I know, you know, when you get done, like, let's say you are working folks like us, you get done with work, you know, we pick up the kids, and the last thing we want to do is when you finally get off the freeway, then you have to drive basically 15 more minutes. It can get tiring. So I don't know, Sean, what do you have to say?
Well, I actually will say that this is kind of a double whammy. It's not even just off the freeway. Like, you know, it's about 13 or so minutes off the freeway. But on top of that, obviously, Rancho Mission Viejo is rather south. So you're, you know, depending on where you are, and this is where it's You know, if you're working from home, no issue, right? But if you're working, let's say the Irvine Spectrum or even further north like Anaheim or into LA County, you're going to have to take that commute into consideration. And so you're much closer to San Clemente, which is the southern end of Orange County, rather than to, let's say, Anaheim, which is the northern end. And if you are actually, you know, let's say you do regularly have to commute to LA, like, you know, if you're regularly commuting multiple times a week, I would, again, unless you don't mind the commute, and I'm being real, the commute can be, you know, can take you a while to get there. And LA traffic is a whole other level. I would definitely suggest that there's other options going like further north in Orange County that I would, you know, say would make more sense than being all the way down south here in Rancho Mission Viejo. And if you are looking for new construction in Orange County, Rancho Mission Viejo doesn't have the monopoly on that. There are other pockets within Orange County that do offer it, and that's where you got to reach out to us so we can find out specifically what you're looking for, and we can definitely find you that perfect property. Okay, and so when you're looking at new construction, there's a couple different ways you can kind of approach it, right? One, you actually have relatively new construction where it's like, you know, a couple years old, which is kind of awesome. And also you have brand new construction where no one's actually gotten in there. And a lot of times, you know, let's say you're buying, you know, like builders are putting these things on the market. What I would say to that is that even if you aren't working with us, like you want to work with a realtor to kind of represent your needs and interests, because you know, there are a lot of things that can go wrong in a purchase, especially if you don't have any representation for you. Like, you know, just a little tidbit of something like, you know, like that someone that's still looking out for your interests would be looking out for is the fact that we would actually recommend you doing a home inspection, which sounds crazy to a lot of people because it's, you know, when they go and it's a brand new home, I don't need to do anything, it's ready to go, I don't need to do anything. Sometimes corners are cut, sometimes just mistakes are made in the construction process, and you want a home inspector to be there to kind of point out any flaws in the property because, again, the last thing you want is once you move in for things to go wrong. I mean, I actually had a home inspector do a home inspection for a property I just sold that was 2 years old, and he said this is the sweet spot because it's kind of like where all the kinks have been worked out, right? They've actually already kind of experienced whatever's happened, they know what's going on, and all the little systems, the features of the property, have all the kinks have been worked out. But again, something was brand new, things can go wrong. In fact, actually, a friend of mine, they bought a home, totally different, another state, and basically what happened was that their basement flooded actually because, again, of a defect in the construction that could have been caught earlier.
And now let's head back to the Sendero Village in Rancho Mission Viejo, California, which is where we actually began our tour. As Sean mentioned earlier, the homes in Sendero were built around 2016, 2017, and it's the second newest village in Rancho Mission Viejo at the time of this recording. Here's a little taste.
So if you are thinking about Rancho Mission Viejo, you might be thinking about moving here with a family, so you're probably wondering about schools. So in Rancho Mission Viejo, it has Sendero, which is a K-8 school, so this is right in the community, and then there is a possibility, so this is the Capistrano Unified School District, and then there is a possibility of going to Ladera Middle, which is in Ladera Ranch, and then in terms of the high school, in terms of what you are zoned for, it's Tesoro High School, which if you look on, you know, the ranking sites, it's a very highly ranked high school. And then another cool thing is that because you are in the Capistrano Unified School District, one thing that's cool about Capo is that there are a bunch of schools that are kind of like, you know, special programs or whatever. So we have friends that send their kids to, for example, Community Roots, which is in Capo. It's a charter school. They do the Reggio philosophy. There's a lot of language immersion schools here in Capo, a lot of Spanish immersion. There is a Mandarin immersion. So there's just a lot of options. That's one of the cool things about Capo. So that's just something to know if you are coming here with a family. And since we are here in Sendero, so where we were standing over the baseball fields, that's actually called the Plunge, and there's a cute pool there as well. So again, you know, one of the things that people like about HOAs is all of the amenities. That's one of the many amenities that are around here in all of these different communities.
And actually, when she says that's available for the communities, we should be clear, this is for the residents and their guests. So sometimes there's a little bit of confusion where they think it's a public pool or whatever. It is for the residents here as well as their guests.
So here we are in the Los Patrones Business Park in the Sendero Village. So obviously, you know, as this Rancho Mission Viejo is being constructed, there's really not much like that much retail, right? So there is some retail that's being developed. There's more business park that's being developed that way. There is some medical that's going to be developed over that way.
Providence, Mission, so there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah.
Now, I would say the nearest really place within Rancho Mission Viejo for retail, like for, shopping, dining, again, not robust by any stretch of the imagination. It's like, you do have an In-N-Out, though, we'll give you that. So that is Sendero Marketplace. So that's actually
part of the Sendero Village.
Yes, part of the Sendero Village. So basically, it's just so you know, you don't have a ton of stuff within Rancho Mission Viejo itself. It just is what it is, but they are building more and more.
And now let's head over to the Sendero Village in Rancho Mission Viejo, California. This is the first village that was constructed in Rancho Mission Viejo.
Okay, there's some more poop.
Okay. So here we are. We're in the Sendero Village, which is the oldest village. Ooh, poop. Which is the oldest village in Rancho Mission Viejo. But what Sean was saying, which I know you're probably watching this video because you want new construction. You're like, oh my goodness, there's new construction in Orange County. Yes, it is available. Yes. But what Sean was saying, and he does bring up a good point, is that what's nice about this particular village is that even though it's on the older side, it's much closer.
Yes. 2013. I know, it's brutal.
It's much closer to the freeway. In fact, it's right next to Ladera Ranch, which is a community you may have heard of, very popular community here in Orange County. It's actually closer to the freeway than Ladera Ranch, so that's just something to note.
Yeah, another thing to note too is that with these like quote unquote older communities, what you do have is a little bit more space. You're not as vertical. You have a lot more two-story homes, that kind of thing. Whereas a lot of the brand new stuff, like in Rienda, for instance, it goes 3 stories. Like you have your garage, first floor, second floor is living space, third floor is bedrooms. Not all of them that way, but that's kind of a general theme, basically. And then, again, it's just nice that you're, again, proximity-wise closer where everything's happening. And second is that, again, because it's newer, you get a little bit more space and a little bit more, more land.
Because it's older.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Sean said because it's newer. He meant because it's older.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
And just a little side note, we are by the pool here. I can hear kids screaming right now here in Sendero.
Now you may be thinking, Sean, okay, I love Rancho Mission Viejo, but where are the gated communities? Good news is that obviously Rancho Mission Viejo itself is not completely gated, but there are some developments within Rancho Mission Viejo that are like Rienda Glen. So, and if that's something that you're looking for, definitely reach out to us so we can find that perfect property for you.
So here we are. We are in Sendero Marketplace, which is basically right at the very beginning of the Sendero Village, which, as Sean was saying before, is kind of like the first village of Rancho Mission Viejo on the, quote, older side, right, for,
Ancient 2013.
Yeah, ancient 2013. But yeah, this is really your first real commercial center that you get if you do decide to live here in Rancho Mission Viejo.
First and only currently. There's not too much actually within Rancho Mission Viejo, not a ton of retail, like grocery stores, Starbucks, that kind of thing. There's not too much here. I mean, again, you have stuff surrounding it, just not within Rancho Mission Viejo. So here you have, obviously, you have In-N-Out, you have Chase Bank, for instance, you have Starbucks, you have a Gelson's, which is nice. So a Gelson's, for those that don't know, is kind of a higher end grocery store, I guess. Yeah. And so if you're looking for value, for it being cheap, look somewhere else. But as far as good food, actually prepared foods and stuff like that, they're actually pretty good. So they have salad bars and these kind of other things, carving stations. Good, actually solid food, good food there. But again, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California, so as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is you want to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
How you play the game with the people that writing the rules? Ain't the fame that I'm after when paying the dues. I've been through the pain that's reflected in the attitude. Might be